Welcome to a CBA coaching session. This session follows on from the blown over beveled leaf scroll. At this stage, you've forged your blown over beveled leaf scroll, completed the 90-degree bend at the end, made your measurements and have cut the piece from the parent bar. If your cut's ragged, I'm going to ask you to take a moment and clean it up with your hot rasp or your belt sander. Starting with a clean end is important. If you don't have a clean end, you're going to see the rag in your tip of your leaf and as a crack possibly. I'm using the Bic here as I want to minimize the growth in thickness as I draw the taper down. When finished, I want the end of the stock to match parent bar thickness, in this case 1/4 of an inch thick. Keep the taper short, and I'm going to say 1 inch at this stage. So I want you to draw it down to about 7/16 of an inch on the end. You'll dress the side to the next step on the face of the anvil, so you don't want to make a tip of a pencil point. And again, I do most of my gross work on the Bic, so for efficiency. So I am taking care of the thickness problems here on the Bic, and then I'm going to move to the face to dress up the edges. Typically, when you dress up the edges, you get a stretch in the length of the taper. So you move from 1 inch, I'm going to say, to 1 1/4 inches. Try and maintain the parent stock thickness throughout. Starting in the middle of the bar, create a valley in the stock. Your leaf was pre-shaped by your taper. If you keep your cross peen running parallel with the center line of the stock, your leaf will spread evenly. Keep an eye on your tong hand. Sometimes I see the tong hand move towards the body while your hammer angle isn't changing. This is going to result in you having a lopsided leaf. It's going to look as though it's pointing towards your body. Once you've formed the valley, we're going to go with the weakest move next. And for me, that means moving the material away from me. Usually, whatever I can accomplish on my weak side, I can match with my strong, but not necessarily the other way around. So I'm going to start by moving the material away from me first, and then I'm going to bring it towards me. And I want you to note that my hammer angle, as shown by the red line in the next photograph here, is matching the center line of the stock. I'm right-handed, so I'm moving material away to my left. Once I've completed something on my weak side, I'm going to try and match it with my strong side. I don't need to accomplish everything needed on this first heat or the first movement. I do a little on my weak, match it with my strong, do a little more on my weak, catch up with my strong, etc. You can see on the top left photo that I must have been a bit short of material on the top left of the leaf. The hammer marks tell the story. So I'm just trying to pull material or push material into the top of the leaf. The top right photograph shows that I need a little more spreading at the base of the leaf. This usually happens when I dress the shoulder, and that's shown on the lower two photographs. Let's have a look at the result. In this photograph, I'm showing the taper, and you can see it's 3/8 of an inch right at the tip there, and it's round. That's important to me. If you don't have it round, run your hot rasp around it and create it round. And then when I spread so I get about 2 1/4 inches at the widest point, and that is about 75% of what theoretically I could have done. If you think of 3/4 by 1/4 as 3/4 by 16 stacked 4 on top of each other, I should in theory be able to get 3/4 times 4, which is 1 1/2, 3 inches. I can't. I get 2 1/4. I don't get that last 25%. That last 25% to me is lost in scale and stretch. When you go to the leafing stake, I want you to keep the shoulder up. The shoulder and the bevel should be on the same side, and I want you to keep those up as you make the channel for the leaf. That ends this particular session of coaching. We're going to move on with the next section, which is going to be actually raising the leaf.